Hi there, Lisa Arana here, and welcome to another Assemble This video. Today's card is all about layering lots of pretty pattern papers in this fun vintage farm animal image. There's lots to look at in this card with all the layers and accents, and I'm featuring the Funny Farm stamp set from Unity Stamp Company. Don't you just love those funny stacked animals and such great sentiments as well? This card is all about pattern papers, so I have those set to go. I also pre-stamped my image and sentiment on some Nina Solar White cardstock and die cut that into like a bubbly rectangle shape. You can use any shape of rectangle for this. Unfortunately, this die is retired, but if you could find something similar or even just in a rectangular shape, that would work perfect as well. And then I die cut two of my pattern papers into tag shapes. I have three different patterns going on here. Two of them are fairly subtle and then one busy one. So I covered my card base in a subtle pattern, and then I'm trying to hide that one busy pattern a little bit by putting it behind the striped pattern. That will just be easier on the eye, so it's not so crazy when you look at the card. It's just a fun little accent. I'm just going to place these tags directly on the card front. I'm just going to tape them down and then lift up the edges just to give them a bit of dimension. This is just going to help it to be easier to put in the mail. And then since I'm gluing them down flat, the lifting of the edges just creates a bit of dimension that's a little bit more interesting. So I'm making sure that the tag doesn't go too far below the bottom of the card, and it's not hanging off my edges too much, just because I still want it to fit into an envelope. So great, I like that. And now again, I have to do card surgery because I've decided to use a side fold card instead of a top fold. And I'm going to put some string around the bottom of this card. So I just cut a slit into the crease of the card, and then I'm just going to push this string through using my scissors, and I'm going to do that twice just so it wraps around the card a couple times, and then I want to make sure I leave a tail on the other side because I'm going to be tying a bow as well. So now that I have these wrapped around, I'm just going to tie it off into a bow, and I like my bows fairly big when I use them as an accent like this. So I'm going to leave the loops fairly large, and then I also like a good amount of tail, so that's going to be another thing that I like with my cards as well. It's just to kind of leave these long tails. So perfect, just like that, and we're going to trim them off. Next, we're just going to pop up that stamped panel onto the front of the card with a bit of foam adhesive. And you could stop here, but I do like a little bit of sparkle and shine on my cards usually, so I'm going to add a little bit of gold Nouveau drops. I did do a practice drop on a scrap piece of paper before I started. I just want to make sure there's no air bubbles that's going to splatter onto my card. And then I just squeeze the size drop that I want, and then lift the nozzle up straight up from the drop. These will self-level themselves if there is a bit of a tip, but if your Nouveau drops are a bit sticky or thicker, then just tap the back of the card a little bit to get those peaks to kind of settle a little bit, and then just set it to the side because they will settle on their own as well. Here is the finished card with our funny little group of farm animals center stage, lots of layered papers in different patterns and die cuts, plus a bit of sparkle from the Nouveau drops, and a sweet bow to tie it all together. I'll have all the supplies linked below. Please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and if you have any questions or sweet comment, post below. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Bye.